Well, we are staying at the Beaver RV Park and Campground, which is right along the White River, just outside of Eureka Springs, Arkansas. And this is a picture here of us going across the Little Golden Gate Bridge. Don't worry, we did not take the RV through this way. This is the back way to get into the campground. Uh, And then there's a couple of pictures of some of the houses that are up on the cliff surrounding this campground on the other side of the river. Pretty interesting places up there. And let's see, pictures of the campground itself. And yeah, it's just a really sweet place. We're lucky to have found it and lucky to have gotten here, actually. Well, here we are. And that's us over there. And this is a river. I forgot the darn name of the river. And big mountain or cliffs up here. And there's some fancy houses up there. And oh yeah, there's really pretty ones. Little fishing going on. And we have the entire campground to ourselves. And I think that's pretty funny, but maybe they know something we don't know. Anyway, here we are.
So here we are at the Great Passion Play property. And the Great Passion Play is a live depiction of the last week of Jesus Christ. It's staged in a 4,000 seat amphitheater outside with special lighting, live animals, a cast of 150 biblically costumed actors, and they create a thrilling drama. And it plays all year, except it usually starts closer to Memorial Day, so we missed seeing that play, sadly. But we were able to go down and see Christ of the Ozarks in the same property. It's one of the largest Christ memorial statues in the world at 67 feet tall. Took a lot of concrete to make this. It's lit at night, and you can visit it any time of the year.
So this is the stage and arena for the Passion Play. This is huge. I'm just amazed at all the different places that they're gonna interpret where Jesus was. Very cool.
Okay, next we're going on a journey through the Holy Land, and we are walking through a life-size replica of the Eastern Gate in Jerusalem unto a marketplace and into the actual Holy Land, as they have recreated it. And you will go and see the tabernacle, and it is exactly in replica to as God commanded Aaron to set it up. He was the high priest that was selected by God, and he was the only one allowed to be in here. And there was the front room where they had the bread, the manna, the lamps, everything according to Exodus 40, 41, 42, as God commanded him. And you can see the Ark of the Covenant, which had the law of Moses in there, and it was separated by curtains to shield the people and Aaron and unclean things from the Ark of the Covenant. Next, we're going to go over to Bethlehem, the place Jesus was born. This is the inn where they traveled to as best they could replicate. And you'll see short doorways on the bottom floor, and you'll see upper rooms at the top. The upper rooms actually were less expensive because the Roman soldiers who were always coming there to harass the Jewish people could ride on their mounted horses in their armor, and they didn't want to get off because the armor was so clumsy. And they could put their spears directly into the rooms and injure or kill the Jewish people because they were at the same height when they were on their horses. The people who liked to stay in the bottom rooms were in there because the Romans would never bow down to the Jewish people. And in order to get in these doorways, you had to bow down. And you had to go in, and the rooms were full size inside once you got in there. And they said 10 to 12 people would stay in each of these rooms, which I cannot imagine. They were very tiny inside. Here's a look inside the innkeeper's room, and his was pretty nice and much bigger than the rest. And now you're going to see, as we traveled over to the upper room, which was the last place the Last Supper was served with Jesus and his 12 disciples. Okay, after the Last Supper with his disciples is the time when Judas betrayed him and the Roman soldiers came to collect Jesus. And they took him to Calvary, which was depicted with the three crosses on the hillside here. And then next there was a tomb, and the tomb was lent to Jesus, and they put him in there, rolled a stone in front of it. And inside of this tomb, it shows the place where they laid Jesus in depiction. And you'll see at the head of it, there's a small fabric that's laying there that's all folded very neatly. And it symbolizes Jesus coming again. If you think about the days back then, they used to, if you were going to leave a table and you were going to come back and you weren't finished with your meal, you would take your napkin and fold it very neatly and precisely and lay it on your plate or by your plate, and then the person who came to take your food would know you weren't finished, that you were coming back. And that is a symbol that was used in the Bible, that Jesus said, I'm coming back, by preparing that fabric at the head for us to all know that that symbol means he'll be back someday, so be ready. Okay.
Thorncrown Chapel, and we're on our way over to it on the point here, and it's just a gorgeous little area. I think all this area is just beautiful. I love the rock formations here. I have never been around this kind of stuff before, but I think it's really cool. Downtown historic Eureka Springs, and all brick and sandstone buildings. This here is a huge hotel. I got a still shot of it a minute ago. This one here is the Basin Park Hotel, and right up in there is one of the springs that the area is famous for. And we walked from our lunch spot down there, and this is just quite the neat little old place. Glenda's in a shop. Well, we are touring the springs. This one is called Sweet Springs, and as we were told yesterday, many of them right now are pretty dry. Let's see, there's a little bit of water coming out of there. But normally they say it's coming out of the rocks over here, it's coming out of the rocks up there, and fills this whole thing up. Yeah, I'm just videotaping. After my climb up the tower, I may take a little while longer to get up here, but the other spring we walked down to looks like it's called Harding Spring, and water normally comes right out of the rock. Harding Spring, and you can see a little dribble coming out of the rocks there. Well, Glenda dared me to go up the 100-foot Razorback Tower. So it's the cheapest thing we're going to do all day at $1. So we're headed up. Let's see if my 4 quarters will go in there. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. Okay, first flight of stairs completed. Okay, third flight completed. I'm getting old. There she is. Whew. Well, I'm really glad that as we got closer and closer to the top that the staircases got shorter and shorter and shorter. Here's Glenda, way down there. I'm waving at her. Holy moly. And so, this is what you get to see when you get to the top of the tower. The Ozarks, the hills of the Ozarks. Very nice. Yeah, pretty neat. Well, that's it for today's video. It got a little long, but as most of you know, that is how I tell a story. So anyway, please subscribe, like our videos. There's a thumbs up there someplace, and hit that bell so you get notified every time we post a new one. See ya.